Number 32, we're using the intermediate value theorem for polynomials to show that the polynomial function has a real zero between the numbers, and we've been given f of x equals x to the fourth minus 9x squared plus 18, and we've been given the numbers 1.7 and 1.8. And again, here's the intermediate value theorem that we talked about in question 31, and this just comes right from your textbook, page 326. Now, in question 31, we used synthetic division to determine whether or not, or rather to show that there was some real number between a and b that was a zero for the polynomial function that was given. In 32, let's go ahead and use the other method, which is simply taking your a and b values and plugging them into the function. All right, so you can either use synthetic division, find your remainder for both numbers, and you should have opposite signs, or you can take these numbers, simply plug them into the function and evaluate, and again, you should have opposite signs. Either way, you're going to get the same answer, whether you use synthetic division or whether you evaluate. But let's go ahead and show the opposite, or not really the opposite, but an alternative way of showing the intermediate value theorem. All right, so we're going to find f of 1.7, and I don't think I'm going to have enough room there, so let's bring that down. All right, so we're going to plug in 1.7 to the fourth minus 9 times 1.7 squared plus 18. I'm going to go ahead and use our handy dandy calculator just to quickly find out what this is. So we're going to say 1.7 to the fourth minus 9 times 1.7 squared plus 18 gives us 0.3421. All right, so equals 0.3421. So a positive number. All right, so now when we find f of 1.8, we should expect to find, or rather to end up with, a negative number. All right, but let's see what happens. All right, and again, we'll return to our calculator. So we're going to say 1.8 to the fourth minus 9 times 1.8 squared plus 18 gives us negative 0.662. 4. And again, we can see we have a positive and a negative, and therefore we know that there is some number between 1.7 and 1.8 that is a zero of the polynomial function f of x. All right, and so that's all I wanted for number 32, was for us to show that there was some number between 1.7 and 1.8, and the way that we do that is to show that when you evaluate, you get a positive and a negative, and that's all the intermediate value theorem states. All right, there's number 32. I'll see you at number 33.